So Rell Seas has been blessing us with teaser after teaser after teaser with all good and interesting content that is somewhat unique and somewhat innovative to the One Piece game scene. And I don't know how you could see what Rell Seas is doing and still think it's a bad game, but despite this, a lot of people do. So I want to make a video talking about why I think Rell Seas is a really good game, not just for us players to play the game, but actually a good game to push the industry forward. So first off, I want to say I understand that not everybody is gonna like Rell Seas. Not everybody can like every game. That's just gonna happen. So I do understand there's gonna be an amount of criticism and amount of people that just naturally don't like this type of game. But what you gotta understand is at least they're doing something to push the other games forward. And games like Blox Fruits and even games like GPO, especially GPO actually, we just don't get any innovation from them. Like because there's no competition, no one actually pushing the industry forward. And I want to talk about that again later in the video. But right now I want to look at specifically Rell Seas. Rell Seas has made their intentions clear. They're not supposed to be making this game just to make money. I mean, obviously that's a byproduct of making a good game, but it doesn't seem like that's their main intention. The Rell brothers have said multiple times that Rell Seas is supposed to be what they believe the true pirate experience would be like. And based on what they've actually shown us, I think it's hard to not believe their intentions are real. Because look at like gun combat, for example. Nobody really even asked for gun combat. They really did not need to bring that in the game at all, but they thought of it themselves. They implemented it themselves because they wanted to innovate the game. And you see this in a lot of aspects of the game, even in the combat, for example. I mean, obviously their combat system is not completely built from scratch. They have the normal pairing and the normal evasive system, but even that alone would be good enough to make a good combat system in my opinion. But they were still able to make it different and unique. For example, they're able to do these like air combos, but they're able to do this without making the combat completely air. It just allows you to go up in the air and fight in the air without making it completely air combat, you know, like Blox Fruits, for example. And I'm not going to say this is the best combat system, and I'm not even going to say I like it personally, because I'm not really sure yet. I haven't played it, obviously. But what I am going to say is that's clearly showing some sort of innovation, which is my main point about why I think this game is so good. And I'm not just talking here. If y'all don't know, One Piece games really don't have to innovate at all for them to be successful, at least from a player and money standpoint. We see so many One Piece games just released with one different thing about the game, or sometimes even no different things about the game, and they still are really successful and make a lot of money. And these games usually have no content too, so when you see a game saying there's gonna be more content than games that have been out for years, they're also gonna innovate the game and add stuff that no one even asked for really, but they're just doing it because they believe that's gonna make the game a better game. That's something I feel like we should actually praise and get excited for. I understand that it can be a bad thing to set high expectations for games, especially before release, because we have seen so many games say all this good stuff that's going to be in their game and then it just never actually shows up in their game. But there's always an exception to the rule, and I believe Rell Seas is the exception. And even if the gameplay they've shown us in such a short time frame isn't enough to convince you, I feel like Rell Games also has a reputation of being consistent and fast and hardworking. Like, let's say Rell Seas does actually release and it actually is disappointing, it doesn't amount to the expectations we have for it. Rell Games isn't the type of developers, I feel like, to just leave the game and, you know, just go, oh, hey, we did our best. You know, they're actually gonna change the game and make it better. And looking at their past games like Shindo Life, for example, they're clearly still trying to make that game better, even though it's already been out for so long. And it's still getting consistent updates. I mean, imagine a One Piece game like Grand Piece if it got consistent updates every month. And that's pretty much what they promised us that Rell Seas will be getting too. When Rell Seas was originally being announced, they said that there will be monthly updates focused on balancing and weekly updates focused on additional content for us to play. And I talked about this before, but Relson pretty much said that he's able to make these year-long updates that we get for other One Piece games in a month. So I believe these short content updates in these short time frames will at least have some solid content, or at least some solid playability to them. And even with that being said, I did make a video a while ago and I said the game was really good, but my main concern was how are they gonna make all this content in such a short amount of time. But with what we have seen recently with the new teaser we've gotten, I feel like it actually showed that they are able to do this in very fast and short amount of time periods. So overall, I feel like even if you don't like Rell Seas the game that much, I feel like it's still a really big W for every player that plays Roblox, because I feel like it might actually finally break the curse of the infinite recycled One Piece games that are just bandit beaters. So I'm hoping this is what's gonna finally change something in the One Piece game specifically, but even on Roblox games in general. But maybe I'm being too optimistic, because there is a million ways this game can go wrong, because there's always a million unexpected things you could happen. But I really do hope, and I am believing in Rell Games, so I don't know. But what do you guys think Rell Seas means for Roblox in general? I think it would be very hard for them to overtake games like Block Streets, just because that feels almost like an impossible hill. Even if the game is way better, I think Block Streets just has such a big player base. I don't know, but either way, I do put a lot of effort in these videos, so I'd appreciate it if y'all do enjoy my videos. I'd appreciate it if y'all subscribe. Thank y'all.